The word weird has deep roots in Old English, originally as a noun for fate or magic, later evolving toward its present use as an adjective for the uncanny or peculiar. By the 1980s, it had fruited as the choicest middle school insult against unstylish kids like me who spent their free time playing with figurines of wizards and listening to obscure science fiction radio shows. If the normal is the conventional, ordinary, and readily understood, the weird is what defies that. The world is weird. Deeply, pervasively so. Weird to its core. Or so I will argue in this book. Among the weirdest things about Earth is that certain complex bags of mostly water can pause to reflect on the most fundamental questions there are. We can philosophize to the limits of our comprehension and peer into the fog beyond those limits. We can contemplate the foundations of reality and the basis of our understanding of those foundations, and the necessary conditions of the basis of our understanding of those foundations, and so on, trying always to peer behind the next curtain, even with no clear method and no great hope of a satisfying end to the inquiry. In this respect, we vastly out-geek bluebirds and kangaroos, and are rightly a source of amazement to ourselves. I will argue that careful inquiry into fundamental questions about consciousness and cosmology reveals not a set of readily comprehensible answers, but instead a complex blossoming of bizarre possibilities. These possibilities compete with one another, or combine in non-obvious ways. Philosophical and cosmological inquiry teaches us that something radically contrary to common sense must be true about the fundamental structures of the mind and the world, while leaving us poorly equipped to determine where exactly the truth lies among the various weird possibilities. We needn't feel disappointed by this outcome. The world is richer and more interesting for escaping our understanding. How boring it would be if everything made sense. 1. My weird thesis. Consider 3 huge questions. What is the fundamental structure of the cosmos? How does human consciousness fit into it? What should we value? What I will argue in this book, with emphasis on the first 2 questions, but also sometimes touching on the third, is 1. The answers to these questions are currently beyond our capacity to know. And 2. We do nonetheless know at least this. Whatever the truth is, it's weird.